She was suffering in her lower back for 3 years. In just 10 minutes, it went away. And I said to myself, wow, wow, this is something really, 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 really powerful.
Yes.
And, and how can we combine these ancient tools with scientific research? And in just 4 weeks of biofeedback training, she overcame anxiety, she overcame depression. The psychiatrist told her, "Hey, what are you doing there? Why?" She left her house. She started to travel, and then she started
Yay.
to travel in cruises around the world.
Yay. This is the Leading with Love podcast. We're gathered here to open our hearts, expand our souls, live fully in our gifts, and co-create the world we want to see. Let's dive right in. Hello and welcome to the Leading with Love podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I'm your host, Shauna, and today is a fun day because I have the most amazing guest, and I'm going to try and pronounce his name as beautifully as he does. He is a doctor as his background, and we have such beautiful things to talk about today. The reason that I want to share him with you and his beautiful heart and his beautiful work is because he has expanded his repertoire of what he is bringing to this world, healing work and deep breathing and just incredible breakthroughs in terms of the people that he's working with and what he's doing and the technologies, both modern and ancient, that he is weaving together in his practice. He is from Brazil, and here I go trying to pronounce his name, and then I'll bring him on, and I won't make you wait anymore because he's so lovely, and I can't wait, as I said, to share him with you. His name is Dr. Fernando Marengo Rodriguez from Brazil. Welcome, Fernando.
Welcome here. Thank you very much, Shauna, for receiving me here. And just to make things clear, I've been living here in Brazil since 2012. And in this life, I was born in Argentina,
Mm.
uh, almost 46 years ago. Thank you.
So it's almost your birthday.
Almost.
Almost. Well, almost birthday wishes to you. And thank you for sharing some of your precious time with me because I know you have, with us, you have beautiful things going on in your life. And of course, I have some questions and notes that I've written out for us to talk about today. Really, as I said in the introduction, I want to share your work and what you're up to because I
Mm.
see, as I said, your background as a PhD in English, as a doctor. And um, gosh, I almost don't know where to start. I see you going to waterfalls and healing and knowing that your body is a vessel and a portal and the breath is so important and the work that you're doing with heart coherence. There's a lot of things we can start with, but I think I'd like to start with breath.
It's the first things we do once we come here to this world, and the last thing we do before uh,
We
returning
leave.
our body to Mother Earth.
Yeah.
So the more we connect with breath, the more we connect with life.
Wow. Oh,
And
that's so
for,
beautiful.
and for those people who feel so depressed, so sad, or so anxious, or so stressed, it's simply because they are not consciously connected to their own breath. Once we do that intentionally, life comes to us and flows through us with so much grace, and then with joy and with happiness.
So I think we are complete. No, I'm just kidding. But that's how it feels, what you just said. And it makes me take a deep breath. So you are working with people and your own body, learning how to breathe deeply and connect with your breath. And I love how you called it the bridge between flesh and spirit. And how you speak
Exactly.
to, yeah, that it is the first thing we do when we come here is draw that first breath. And I've even heard people say that your first breath and your last breath are connected, like your first breath in and your last breath out. And yeah.
Yes, yes, you know what? That this has been quite a journey uh, because yes, I studied electronics engineering in
Oh,
Rosario,
wow.
Argentina, in 2005, and then in 2008, I earned the Doctor of Engineering degree in record time, in just 2 hours and a half, less than 2 hours and a half, 2 years and a half.
Oh, I was going to say
And
hours.
hours, yes.
That's really impressive.
Yes, yes, 2 years and a half. On average, people used to take 4 or 5 years. And for me, it was just 2 years and a half. And even though everything was going very well, and I started to work as a professor at the university as well, then I came here to Brazil in 2012 to Florianopolis. This island is the one that chose people to come here. And I was so fortunate to be chosen by this island. When I came to work here, I discovered that this island is so badly searched for so many people, and many people are dreaming to live here, but only a handful of people are bold enough to take the right decisions to stay here. And I was chosen to come here. I'm so grateful for that, and I decided to continue here. And this is the place where I built my family here. So in this journey, as I came here for a scientific as a scientific a postdoctoral scientific fellowship, um, I was at that time was questioning to myself and to my colleagues, what are you doing this for? What's the purpose of all the work you have been doing? Did you study a lot just to write some papers and to publish? And not even me, I don't have a notion about what you are doing. I am seated by your side, and I don't have a notion of what you are doing. Who are you working for? What are you doing that for? What's the purpose behind of that? And they had no answers for that. And I was asking that question to myself, and I said to myself, is this what life is about? Is it? Is this what is life about? Going to work, paying the bills,
Mm.
and going to home again? And is there something else in life? So that's when I started my own journey in 2015. Uh, After working for a company in the US as an engineer, I started my inner search in 2015. And finally, I discovered, after 20 years of search, a teacher who is aligned with my core values, who honors the indigenous roots. And this is where my life started to change. I felt like, wow, now I feel like at home. And I started to embody different practices, to take the herbal shower, and to do different meditation. And I say, oh, yes, this is what I really, really like. And I went all in. And I went to 2 retreats in 2018 and 2019. 5 days in the first one, 25 days in the second one, in the mountains, in the Andean, in the Chilean Patagonia. And that is where my spiritual teacher, Sujama Solar, lives. And when I went to those retreats, my life changed like this, radically. And I started to take new decisions. I want to become a coach. I want to start this startup. And, and then I took wonderful decisions. Since then, I've been training about 3,000 people from 28
Woo.
countries in 3 languages. Thank you. And I'm very, very thankful for that. And it just takes to help just 3 people per day. When you do that
That's
for
all.
6 years, yes, you just get to that amount easily. It sounds very, 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 very simple. It is simple. It's not that easy, but it is simple. And in this journey, after working on myself, then I started to help others. And then I said to myself, wonderful, some gifts were awakened from past lives. I'm already helping other people in an impactful way. In some cases, for 10 minutes, people started to stand up from their wheelchair after
Wow.
PTSD, for instance. Yes, and for a client, and then we became friends, who came from Ohio. She came here to a wonderful spot, and I told her, let's do a ritual. We used a feather, a condor feather, and she finally stopped having this uh, pain she was suffering in her lower back, produced by herniated disc. for 3 years. In just 10 minutes, it went away. And I say to myself, wow, wow, this is something really, 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 really powerful.
Yes.
And and how can we combine these ancient tools with scientific research and engineering? Why are so many people uh, with that fixed mentality and say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, science is there, ancient tools are there? And I
Yeah.
say to myself, is there any way to combine that? And finally, I developed with my business partner, Gianni Anselmo, this device, the ENSA
Oh, that's what
biofeedback
it looks
device.
like. Cool. We're definitely going to talk
Yes,
about
yes,
that. Yep.
yes, it is wonderful because it helps to connect to an ear from an ear clip. It
Mm-hmm.
measures the heartbeat and it shows on screen in real time the heart rate and also the heart rate variability, which encodes the state of peace. So we discovered some biofeedback systems that helps people monitor their state of peace. I mean, the balance of their autonomic nervous system
Yes.
that contains the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. I mean, the fight or flight response and the rest and digest mode. Those two components, they are usually out of balance. People are
Mm-hmm.
so stressed, so anxious, and the sympathetic nervous system is overactivated. But if we breathe slowly and deeply, they come into balance. And the sympathetic component is already a little bit deactivated, and the parasympathetic component is a little bit activated. They get into balance, and people feel like, oh, yes, I feel so relaxed and aware at the same time.
Yeah.
And I discovered this methodology, and it was developed a few decades ago by Professor Paul Lerner and other researchers. And then I started to treat a client who was suffering from chronic back pain. She was she could barely leave her house. Many times she locked herself in her bedroom because she
Hmm.
wasn't able to live there,
Hmm.
to leave her own bedroom. And she told me, Fernando, I don't know what to do. I'm
So
going to the
isolating.
psychiatrist. Yes, I'm taking pills and,
Mm.
for anxiety, for depression. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm so scared. And I told her, okay, let's do a session and let me know how it goes. We did a session with this device, with the biofeedback device, and then I told her, "Do you mind if I include the drumming
I remember. I
here?"
saw you wrote about that. That you added
Yes,
in the just like the stimulation of the vagus nerve with sound as well as the breath work and heart
exactly,
coherence. Yeah. Woo.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the moment her where she started to feel
Mm.
much better, and she said, "Oh, I really love this. Can you continue, please?"
So she noticed the difference when you started drumming. She
Exactly,
felt it.
exactly. And exactly, she felt the benefits
Mm.
immediately. And this is how this methodology was started to be developed. And in just 4 weeks of biofeedback training, she overcame anxiety, she overcame depression. The psychiatrist told her, "Hey, what are you doing there? Why are you better?
Of
What are you
course.
doing?"
What are you doing going to somebody else?
Yes, and she said,
Actually
"Oh, I
getting
started
better.
to breathe." Yes, and she said, "No, I just started to breathe consciously." And the psychiatrist said, "Oh, yes, breathing consciously is wonderful, of course.
Thank
But
you
you
for
have,
that wisdom.
yes, yes, yes. But you have to be willing to say, hey, this is a protocol. You have to do this step by step methodology, and you have to be committed to do this." She committed to do this. In just 4 weeks, she left her house. She started to travel, and then she
Yay.
started to travel in cruises around the world.
Yay.
Yes, yes, yes. She said at the end, she said, Fernando, I don't know how to thank you. because this has
Right.
been life changing for me. In just 4 weekly sessions, my life changed radically. And I say, oh my God, this is so beautiful. We have some testimonials that
Oh,
are
for
already available
sure.
on social media. And then I told my business partner, hey, Johnny, we have something really extraordinary here.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
something just good. We developed this device, which is fantastic. It's the only one that has been developed in Brazil in the last decade. But we created a new methodology that includes the following: includes mechanical breathing, that's totally fine. That already existed. It also includes intentional generation of regenerative feelings such as gratitude, joy, love,
Mm.
compassion, grace, and it also brings another benefit for the state of peace, and also includes another thing, which is um, auditory stimuli of the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
So it means the following: we have different, the vagus nerve is the nerve that connects the
Oh,
brain
yeah.
with many parts of our body. It's also called a wandering nerve. And it collects information from the body, and according to that, it tells our brain if we are in a safe space or not. And
Yes.
one of the terminations of the vagus nerve is in the middle ear. We have three little bones there, and attached to those bones are small muscles, and the vagus nerve is connected to those muscles. And according to the stimulation that the vagus nerve senses from there, it tells our brain if we are in a safe space or not. So when we include this auditory stimulation of the vagus nerve in the
Mm.
right way, I mean, we produce the right sounds in the right
Yes.
way, the vagus nerve tells the brain, hey,
I'm
you are safe.
safe,
You are
which
safe.
floods you with calm hormones, with, yeah, that safety, that,
Exactly.
oh my gosh, Fernando, you just answered so many of the questions I was going to ask you without you just like, you're on a roll and you said so many things that I just want to touch upon. Thank you for that. Just the testimonials and the fact that, deep breathing, because breathing is one of those things like that is conscious or unconscious, right? And when you bring consciousness to it and intentionality to it, and then you're stimulating the vagus nerve with sound. Like, I did not know that one of the touch points for it is in the ear. So I can absolutely see why that works. But even drumming alone, it's so primal, right? It's like
Exactly.
it mimics our heartbeat and puts our heart into coherence. And so you're stimulating the ear plus just generally the nervous system with that drumming, and then the breathing is bringing so much consciousness into it. And I can see it. I can see it, and I can see in how passionately you speak about it and all the testimonials you have that this is really, really special. And again, I'm just struck by how wonderful it is that a PhD or a doctor, especially, I didn't know that your background was in engineering, that's very linear, right? It's very, I mean, I hate to use it, but I'm going to kind of 3D physical world training.
Counterintuitive.
Okay, yes.
Counterintuitive.
Well, it certainly isn't bringing intuition into it. That is for sure, right? I'm sure you didn't learn a whole lot about that unless it was gut instinct, which is a little, a different way of saying it. But gosh, even when you spoke about islands, I mean, Kauai is that for me. And they call you, Bali is calling people. The islands are calling people in this, whew, that gives me shivers, in this lifetime. There's something to that, right? Where people are just being drawn, and they also spit people out, right? Like, have
Yes,
you not noticed that? If you're not supposed to be there, you'll be gone. Like, it only keeps the people that are meant to be doing something in that
exactly.
intersection or that portal or that place on this planet. And here you are in a Portuguese speaking country, because we talked about this before we went on air. Because I see your name is Spanish and I hear you speaking, and now I know you're from Argentina and you landed in
Mhm.
Brazil because you were called there. And you know what? It's funny that you came there because of your schooling or your work, but it's almost like it doesn't matter how you got there. it was calling you to be there. So something else would have happened if you were supposed to be there to bring you there. It could have been a vacation, it could have been anything, but you're
Exactly.
supposed to be there.
Yes, and there are many people from Argentina coming here, and
Ah,
some people say to me, "Hey, what are you doing to stay there? How are you making your living there? I would like to live there." And so many people they say that, but they don't take any bold decision.
right.
But you have to be willing to pay the price,
Yes.
the price of uncertainty, the
Yes.
price of some people would say I would love, I would like, but it is
And they don't
just
do it.
I wish or I
Yeah.
would like. It's not I am going. No,
Yeah.
you have to be willing to pay
Yes.
the price.
Hawaii has been like that for me, and I have given up a lot for that soul calling. I'm in Canada right now, but Hawaii's where my soul belongs, and I spend as much time there as possible. And it's just where I belong. And so the only reason I'm not there is because I wasn't allowed to stay any longer. They're like, get out, because it's the U.S. But I'll be back, and God willing, that's even when I have people, I had a friend read my I guess lifelines or destiny lines when she's like, why do they all say Hawaii but you're not here, you have to leave? And I said, because I'm supposed to be here. Obviously I'm meant to leave right now and go fulfill my destiny in another way, but I know where my heart belongs. And
That's wonderful,
yeah,
and it's
where my
wonderful you
soul
say
belongs.
that because in that part of the planet it is called some people say it is the heart of the planet.
Yeah,
The
for
heart
sure.
chakra
Yeah,
is around Hawaii and
yeah,
especially Bali.
yeah.
And
I'm going to
my
Bali
teacher
in the
told
fall.
yes, my
Yeah.
teacher told me that there are some extraordinary shamans there in Bali
Mm.
who have thousands of years of evolution, inner evolution.
Whew. Oh, perhaps I can meet. Like Bali calls me also, as
Mhm.
she does many. And I mean, obviously, all of these places have a lot of tourists, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about soul calling. You cannot, once you hear it, like you just know, right? And um, this is part of our destiny and our path of. I mean, these aren't conversations that you have every day, but that's what this podcast is for. Because, leading with love to me is heart forward, heart coherence with wisdom. And I think that has been sadly lacking in the world. And now it's calling us forward to step up with this new definition of leadership where we have our hearts in the game. And that's what you're doing.
Yes, and well, that's something really beautiful that you mentioned because uh, I was having recent before this interview was having a conversation with a dear person, and he told me, "Oh, my gut say one thing, and
Mm.
my gut say one thing, and my heart says another thing. What should I do?" And I told him, "If that's what happening to you,
Mm.
it's not is you are not in coherence. What does coherence mean?
Yeah.
When your heart rate organically, physical, when your heart rate, your breathing, and your blood pressure they increase with time and they decrease with time all together. That they are in
Mm.
coherence. When you inhale, your heart rate increases. When you exhale, the heart rate decreases.
Yeah.
That's its coherence in physical terms. In emotional spiritual terms, it means the following: you are all one. You become aware of your oneness. If you get into coherence, you don't have to make any effort to take any new decisions. You just become
Exactly.
one with the
Exactly.
mind, with the heart, with your guts. And when that happens, go all in.
Yeah,
When
it's
you want to take a
gnosis, it's
decision,
knowing.
yes, exactly,
You don't
exactly,
question it. You're
exactly.
like, oh, this, I know. It's like divine acting through you, and just like, okay, that's it. Woo, yeah. See, doctors don't talk about this like this, and that's what I love it so much. I love your work so much. I love. Actually, I'm gonna just segue a little bit into. I really love talking about breath, and I'm deciding in the moment which way to take this. Okay, let me go this way first. When you posted about your mama, Okay, and for those of you just listening, because we have an audio podcast as well, you will note that I've been smiling this whole time because just listening to Fernando is just makes my heart happy. And one of the things that I wanted to talk with you about is, I see your social media posts. I see you talking about your mama, and we connected about that because I lost my mom 4 years ago too, and about your uncle, who you reconnected with recently, and I want to talk about this because I've done a lot of work with hospice myself, and you spoke about the Western and Eastern worlds and how in the Western world we don't want to talk about death. We're in denial. We don't When people are dying, we kind of leave them to it. I don't because I've been with hospice and I've lost both of my parents and my brother and my uncle, and um, being with someone at that time is such a gracious gift to them and to you. And I know that you said that you had that with your mom, and I did too. And I want to just open that up a little bit with you to be, for everybody listening and watching, wherever this may go, how loving and tender and open and okay we can be around souls leaving the planet, just as we can with souls arriving as babies. And take that wherever you will.
Mm, this is wonderful.
Hmm.
And when we connect with a sense of being safe, when we feel the drum, and that's what people say this, when they listen to the drum in the drums that I used to play here,
Was their mom?
many of them say they connect to their own heartbeats
Hmm.
and to the heartbeats they remember from their mother.
Yeah.
Because we can only do the right transition, emotional transition, and reduce stress and anxiety and all of that,
Hmm.
if we get in tune with our own hearts, with the rhythm of life. And if we connect deeply with that sensation of being when we were babies next to our mother's heart, it's so beautiful. It's a unique sensation, and many people say that they feel that wonderful sensation.
Hmm.
When they feel that, uh, anything is possible.
Yeah, you're reminding me of something someone shared with me when my mom passed. And I love that we're talking about this on a conversation that's about love because it really is. And um, she reminded me, she sent me this poem actually. Maybe I'll share it in the notes for the show about how your mother's heartbeat was the first thing that you heard, and that's what you grew to. That's what you grew into a being. Hearing was your mother's heartbeat. And I had never really thought about that before. And here you are saying that. Um, and the drum echoes that, your heartbeat and hers and all heartbeats of all of our ancestors, and life force that beats that heart. And there's just so much beauty there. I agree. You made me have a couple tears.
That's totally fine. And I remember that when I had a meeting with a dear friend, Gundor, his name is Gundor, and he's organizing some meetings for readings, meeting readings for of books for of our spiritual teacher. He mentioned that in Western society, in Eastern society, people look at life and death as a continuous cycle, life and
Mm-hmm.
death, life and death. That's why from Western, when we see that they don't feel life has the same value that it has for us, but actually it's kind of a disattachment. They
Mm.
don't care too much if their lives is going to end at a certain moment. It's not that feeling of feeling so frightened or
Right.
afraid to die. People here in Western society, we suffer so much
So
of
much.
just thinking like, oh, she's going to die.
So much
But
fear.
exactly, so
Yeah.
much fear. But it is not the same fear as it is in the Eastern society. So why is that difference? Because uh, after uh, after Jesus Christ came, then he said that we have to honor everything that we have in this life. And then an organization was already conformed after his existence, of course, that doesn't talk about reincarnations and doesn't talk about there's life after
Hmm.
death or things like that. So many people in Western society, they were raised like this is the
This is
only
it.
opportunity we have, and we will have no life after this.
Of
So
course, it's terrifying.
exactly, and so many people are raised. I was raised like this, and
Hmm.
it took me years of
Wow.
inner work to realize, not only to understand rationally, but also to feel
Mm-hmm.
it is that way
Big difference, intellectual and embodied
and
knowing.
embody this
Hmm.
sensation. And how do you know if you are embodying this when a dear one already passes away?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's when you know if it's already, if you're putting in practice
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I love how you said to your uncle that you can be there with him. You know, even in the Western world, we don't acknowledge when people are dying. It's like they deny it and we deny it and we don't want to talk about it. And here you are bringing this beautiful gift of presence to your uncle when he needs that, and you've reconnected with him and you're sharing your presence with him. And you even said that you, I love how you talk about your gifts, that you've come into your spiritual gifts. And this is one of the things that you're offering your uncle, and that you got it from your grandfather. Oh, what? I even wrote down his name. Oh,
Yes,
you. Segundo, I think it was.
segundo, uh-huh.
Segundo. So,
Yes,
what would you say those gifts are? Could you put that into words that you feel like you've now known
yes,
and you're doing?
yes. Thank you for asking.
Mm-hmm.
Um he was capable of healing crops at a distance. Some
Crops.
crops,
Crops, like
yes,
plants.
yes,
Okay.
some crops. I mean, for instance, there was a neighbor of him in the middle of the countryside, right? So the distances are very long, are very far away. The distances are very large there. Some people came to him and say, "Hey, Segundo, how are you? You know that I have a problem in my farm there. It is 20 kilometers to the east. Uh-huh. What's the problem? We have this little plague, which is an insect that is eating all the crops that we have." And he said, "Okay, what's the size of the crop? Let's say 5 hectares or 20 hectares, whatever." And he said, "Okay, wait a little bit." And he just closed his eyes. He did a prayer, and then he said, "Okay, it's done. Simple as that. Yes, go there. And if you have any problems, come back here tomorrow."
Oh,
The day
right
after
then.
that, yes, the day after that, he received the visit of that same person, but not to complain, but to express gratitude. He came back with chickens, with pigs,
Because
and
that's
say,
how,
"Hey,
yeah,
hey,
trade gifts.
yes." He said, "I don't know how to thank you. I don't know how to thank you. Thank you so very much. This is for you. This is for you. This is for you. This is for you." It's already healed. Everything is already healed. We don't have that plague anymore.
And
And he did
obviously
that
that happened more than
many
once.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, many times it happened that. And he also healed uh, hundreds or thousands of animals. When the
Wow.
animals were wounded, badly wounded, he just said a prayer. He invented the name of the owner, and then he did a prayer with the owner and with him, even if the owner is fictional. I mean, made up. He just made a prayer, and then he said, "Okay, now you're healed." And this is how he healed many animals in that
So
place.
here's his grandson, Fernando, coming into the world, becoming an engineer, as far away from that spiritual knowing, that knowing that there are realms and powers beyond this world as you could get, an engineer. and then evolving in your lifetime in really 40 short years, right? Well, actually, like even 30 something, because you were in your 30s when you started this awakening into, what your gifts
Mhm,
are, and
mhm.
actually stepping into that, which is two different things, right? Knowing that maybe I have some divine gifts, and then actually exploring them and stepping into them and being that is a whole different thing, right? Which is what we're both, I'm sure, calling people to. But you're like the legacy that he left in you. And as we spoke about the other day, that our mom has left in us, is just so beautiful and so powerful, because this lifetime, it seems to me, this intersection in time and space, this lifetime, I feel like if there are such things as you talked about when you were saying, in the Eastern traditions, they don't really worry about death too much because they feel like it's just a cycle, right? And we're coming back and we're going to live again. If we have lived other lifetimes, it seems to me that this is the one we were preparing for, right here, right now on Earth.
Mhm. And yes, we have already, if we are aware only a little bit of who we truly are, then we can awaken our gifts, activate our gifts, and it will not only change our life, but it will also help change thousands of other lives as well.
Yes.
And this is what really happened in this case.
Yeah.
And this is what
Yeah.
happened in other people I know.
Oh, it's true. And I see it every day. And I know that even just the frequency that we're in when we're clean and clear like that, when we're not in the parasympathetic, which this world really tries to get everybody into, keep everybody in all the time, right? But when we do that work and we know how to get still and quiet, and I love how you're working on heart coherence and knowing that breath, like having that coherence, you have access to all of that. And it just surprises me sometimes that most people don't even know that they have these gifts, but that's just the way it is. But for those of us that do, it turns from self to service. It just does.
Exactly. And this is what really matters, to not to have, but to use what you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's like, oh, yes, I have a Ferrari. Some people say, yes, I have tremendous gift. And what are you doing with that? Nothing. Aha. What if I told you I have a Ferrari and I just keep the Ferrari in my garage? Does it make sense? You say, oh, of course
Mm,
not. Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing with your gifts? And
right.
this is what really matters.
They were given to you to share, right? To serve humanity with. And I swear, I don't know that this is true, but it feels like I said that this is that lifetime, like that everything has been building up into, and it feels very pivotal on Earth right now. And so everybody, like this is one of the things that I do most in my work slash play, is just calling people to know there's no more time to be just like, oh shoot, shucks, who me, I have a gift. No, 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 it's
Mm,
time to know your gifts and to step into them and be them and share them and radiate that love that comes from doing that, and know that that frequency, it offsets. I'm sure you've heard of David Hawkins and you're familiar with David Hawkins' work on
mhm,
consciousness, and
mhm.
how
I
one
heard about him.
person, yeah, one person vibrating at the consciousness level of joy or peace or love offsets hundreds of thousands of people in lower, denser frequencies. This is quantum physics. This is science. It's not just spirituality. And you know more than anybody that those two bodies of work, science and spirituality, are just asking the same questions,
Yes, we are made of
right?
energy. We are
Yeah.
made of energy. We just have to use that energy in a wise way. And if you
Ah,
allow me, Shauna, I will leave a message for those people listening to this, which
yes.
is an extremely important message. We already faced terrible times during the lockdown,
Yeah.
and we already know the consequences of that. The energy levels of so many people decreased dramatically, and there are millions of people suffering from, especially from depression. Since the pandemic started, many people started to not only their energy levels fell down significantly, but also many of them are suffering in silence, in depression. So what is going to happen in the next few in the near future? Uh, Another similar event is going to come to us, and we have to get prepared for that. It's not like, oh, it is frightening, things, something terrible is happening to me. No, it's not that. It's not. It's how can we get prepared for that? For instance, we can cultivate self-responsibility, take care of
Mm-hmm.
our own energy levels.
Yes.
For instance, when you wake up, don't watch the news, don't watch the phone at once. When you wake up, dedicate to your own self care. There is a 5 step morning ritual I recommend on my free ebook, which is already a physical exercise called shower, writing the goals of the day, visualizing them, and meditating. It just takes 20, even if you have 10 minutes for yourself, do that.
Absolutely. Care
But
for
that's a
yourself.
way to keep the energies as high as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because those who do that will thrive in the near future. And those who don't, unfortunately, they will face very, very, very difficult times.
Yes.
And I say this because I already tested this in other people I've been working with, even some people I helped for free
Mm.
during the pandemics. And I told them do this and do this and do that, and they did exactly that. They took an herbal shower, for instance. They
Yeah.
recovered from COVID very fast, very
Mm.
very fast. From one moment to another, they felt like an uplift in their energy levels. So it's not this is not it sounds crazy what I say, but it is really it's really important. There are studies by the Health Organization, Worldwide Health Organization, and there are also the same conclusion is already stated by some spiritual teachers that in the near future, the next pandemics is probably going to be related to mental health. And we
Mm.
have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on the news, we have to
Absolutely.
focusing on ourselves, focusing on good things we can do, focusing on self-care, enjoy being with our loved ones,
Yes.
cultivate gratitude, because you know
Mm-hmm.
what? People, they know what they are made of when disaster happens. For instance, when I saw the disaster happened for the hurricane in Florida last year, and people started to help each other. They
Yeah.
start to help
Creates community
with
and heart opening.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
say, oh, wonderful! That is a true community. People
Yeah.
are truly helping each other.
Yeah.
Not I'm giving you, and in exchange you give me that. No,
No,
people
it's
they
just
were
it
truly
opens humanity's heart, and not that we need and want to learn through pain, but it does sometimes act as a catalyst in that way. And I love everything that you're saying because I literally just yesterday, I think, posted a video on on my YouTube channel, and I love yours as well, about protecting your vibe. It was called, and it's all about all the things that you can do because now it feels to me that one of the most important skills that we can develop is how to protect our energy and keep our nervous system calm and allow that joy and that life force to flow through and not let the fear and worry get in because it's just too much. And we all know, like you said, I feel like the whole world just has PTSD, and it's time for us to take care of our own vibrational well-being is how I heard somebody say it, and I love that. And it's something that I speak to a lot, and you are too, and I love that so much because it is our responsibility. Like no mas, no more, no letting all this stuff hit us and hit us and hit us and break us down because that's what it's doing, right? It's breaking down our physical health, it's breaking down our mental health and well-being, and it's time for us to just take care of that because we can, because we're powerful. And
exactly.
like that,
Exactly.
yeah, that breath is, you're accessing your health in every way.
Yes. And the more we cultivate
Mm,
self-care, for instance, just
yeah.
5 or 10 minutes of heart coherence practice, just taking
Mm,
deep breath, inhaling and exhaling for inhaling for 5 seconds and exhaling for 5 seconds. You can do that 1 minute just after waking up, and your nervous system will say thank you for the rest of the
mm,
day. If
yeah.
you do that for 10 minutes, the
Imagine.
results are they are undeniable. So this is how it works. It is very simple. You don't tell me that you don't have 10 minutes.
No, and I love that you're coming at this from with a science background and that you have this beautiful tool, which of course everybody I will share in the show notes so you can find Fernando and his work. But yeah, I mean, you even shared that with one held breath, just one. You know, it affects your immune system, it affects you, it calms your nervous system, it lowers inflammation, it helps with mental clarity. There are so many beautiful benefits to this conscious breath and bringing it into coherence. And here you are with a little like almost a game, I guess, right, that helps people connect with their breath and visually shows them the coherence that is happening, which will make them want to
Ex-
do it more.
yes, exactly. We have some videos on my YouTube channel,
Okay.
but there's a game that we put on the computer so that people they that game shows the the current value of the state of peace that is encoded in the
Mm.
heart rate variability. The key is to tell the user, okay, you have to be as calm as possible, and then this character will fly higher and higher and higher.
Oh, there's a
So
little.
your
Okay,
aim,
yeah, yeah,
yes, your aim is to
yeah.
fly as high as you can. And when people
Ah,
say,
that's
"Oh,
amazing.
it starts to fly higher," I'm excited. No, 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 calm down, calm down. Okay, okay, okay.
So even excitement brings it down, and so it's peace
Exactly,
that you're cultivating. How
exactly.
beautiful! Because peace
It's
in the world starts with peace in us, right? It's not a
exactly.
cliche. It's not a. It's the truth.
Hmm.
Peace in us
Yes,
is
in
what
order to
creates
be a
peace.
war or a confrontation, there has to be two parts willing to do the confrontation.
Mm.
But if there's one single part that is not participating in that, there is no war.
Hmm. Ah, I'm very grateful for you. I'm grateful to know that you're out there helping there be peace in the world and more love in the world, and that you're doing all of these beautiful practices yourself. I saw you, I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation about the waterfalls and how you were going through a purification process before you had a retreat. And all of those things are so holistic. They're bringing in spirit and nervous system and body and mind and heart and all of us, and it's just amazing. I love meeting embodied souls because that's what we're doing, right? We're embodying our spirit in this lifetime and living in this physical body with as much vitality and love and peace and life force and joy that we can. And you're doing that. And I'm grateful. And now you have your eyes closed. For those listening, we're just both smiling with our eyes closed, and it's so beautiful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful just to know you're out there.
Thank
Mm.
you. And you're invited to come here to feel the experience in the waterfalls here.
So I am going to be traveling this fall to various places to meet a lot of different friends: Bali, Costa Rica, Mexico, maybe Thailand, Dominican. I have all these friends in different beautiful places. The same way that you have been called, all these people have been called to these places, and they're kind of creating communities and like little portals of conscious, beautiful beings. And I would love that. I would love to come visit you.
It's
Ah,
dangerous because if you come here, you won't want to live here.
that's not
You will,
dangerous.
you will want to break the ticket back to Canada.
I get it. No, I always do that. I never want to. I'm sorry to say, I never want to come back to Canada. It's not. It doesn't feel like home to me at all. I know where my heart feels at home, and it's in all of those places that I just mentioned. But Hawaii, I'll always end up in Hawaii, so don't worry about that. um, I want to share one more thing for those of you listening and watching. That something that Fernando said that I thought was so beautiful. You talked about, how do I want to say this? Actually, I'm going to read your words because that is the best way to say it, is your words. The people I help don't care about my weaknesses. You talked about using your strengths like Messi playing soccer, right? And that we can spend our whole lives trying to like shore up our weaknesses and work on them, but actually what really works is knowing what our strengths and our gifts are, because it feels like a good place to end this conversation. And you said they choose me because they only focus on my gift to help them, since this is what makes the difference in their lives. And to me, that feels like a lesson for all of us and a calling to everybody who's thinking about listening to that voice in their heart. So, for those of you watching and listening, if you have that voice, and I know you do, because we all do, and it's telling you you have a destiny or something that a gift to share, nobody else can do that. It's yours. It was given to you, it was put in your heart. And if you have imposter syndrome or something that says, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or nobody wants to hear it, it's not true. Those are just beliefs. They're not true. There are people who want the gifts that you have and who will not focus on your weaknesses. They want the gift that you have. So share it.
Exactly. Otherwise, we're going to keep the Ferrari in our garage.
Yeah, exactly so. Exactly so. Although I will say I would like to have the Ferrari and, whatever. Well, we can enjoy we can enjoy beautiful physical things, right? As well as our, spiritual gifts. It's yes and. That's abundance. It's not either or.
I feel like, if you don't mind, we can do a 1 minute drumming so people
Okay.
feel in their own hearts. Is that okay?
Oh, of course, it's welcomed. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, this is wonderful. We
Yeah.
can place our hands on the chest, take a deep breath, and release.
Ooh.
And then start to breathe slowly and deeply. Inhaling for 5 seconds and exhaling for 5 seconds. Starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue feeling your heart. Connect with the rhythm of life. And as you listen to these mantras, you will get into a state of peace. The right amygdala in the brain starts to inhibit, reducing the levels of stress and anxiety. Connect to your heart. Sina, 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 suna, sina, sina, shina, sina, sina, sina. And remember a wonderful moment that you felt powerful or happy or ecstatic. Connect with that wonderful sensation and let your heart speak from there. And once you feel grateful for this, take a deep breath and open your eyes.
Yes. Whew. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you for this space and thank you for the wonderful people
Hmm.
listening to these messages.
Amazing. I will share all the links, everything about where to find you and your beautiful work in the show notes. And is there anything else you would like to say before we close out?
When we take the decision from our hearts, it may not make sense to us. Just follow your heart, and the rest will unfold.
Amen. Oh, hush, hush,
Ah,
all the things. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fernando. I appreciate you. It was beautiful.
me too. Thank you very
Gracias.
much, Shauna, for this.
Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoyed this episode and it helped you open your heart, feel inspired, and know that we are all connected. Please subscribe and share so this work can touch more people. This is how we co-create the world we want to live in. Thank you so much again for joining us, and talk to you next time.